Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. My name is Mike Pana. I'm the moderator in the series of videos that is all about Persian rugs and carpets from around the world. And in this video, I want to feature a design that is, well, I think just about everyone in the world knows when I say Last Supper. So here is a Persian rug rendition of the famous painting that was done by Leonardo da Vinci. And what is unique about here, you have three different types, and this is very common. You have the most common type of pictorial Persian rugs. I've talked about it in one of my other videos where in order to get the colors and quality, the dyes, everything has to work together in order to make excellent pictorial rugs. And nothing is better suited than the Tabriz Persian rugs. The Tabriz rugs are renowned for being made into pictorials, and you will have these are the most common types of high quality pictorial rugs. But I've talked about that in one of my previous videos. But in this video, I'm going to specifically focus on this one unique design. It's very popular with my clients. But what a lot of people don't realize is that you actually have different interpretations of that same famous painting. Now, it is common for the Persian rug weavers to literally copy a painting. And copying it means they basically weave a rug to look exactly like the painting. I've seen it, for example, in America, we have Thomas Kincaid. Well, you can, and I've had one or two myself in the past, where we have had Tabriz rugs that were literally woven as if they had been Thomas Kincaid paintings. You will have the same thing, Mona Lisa. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen rugs that are literally a woven copy of Mona Lisa. Well, there is something very unique about the Last Supper. I'm going to show it to you when I get behind the camera, and then you are going to see the subtle differences. Here's a perfect example of it. You have three Last Supper pictorial. We have a beautiful Turkish. This is a chinar, which is similar to haricate, very fine, pure silk, just gorgeous piece. And then by my chair and on the ground, there is two Tabriz rugs. Typical for Tabriz rugs, silk foundation. These are really meant to be obviously hung on walls, and in the case of the Tabriz rugs, the weavers actually leave the fringes long because that is how a lot of people prefer them for when they are framed. It's a lot easier to frame a rug when there are long fringes. But in this video, I'm going to show you three Last Supper pictorial rugs, and you are going to see a unique feature that I have really never seen anywhere else. This is only in the Last Supper pictorial rugs, and it involves the thoughts and the opinions of the person weaving it. And I'll explain to you what I mean by that when I get behind the camera. So here I'm back again, as always, from behind the camera, and to get things started, we have this beautiful piece that we just literally received, and this is what is known as a relief. It's a three-dimensional, it has a three-dimensional feel. So this rug was actually woven on a silk foundation. This is a very fine piece. But I'm going to explain to you in a second here what I mean when I say there's actually depth to this rug. It's as if the everything here is floating on top. But I'm going to talk about this in a minute. what I wanted to point out to you, as I mentioned earlier, and this is something that I have really only seen in the Last Supper paintings. We have 3 copies. Here we have the chinar, as you can see. Here we have another beautiful Tabriz. But I want you to take a look at the 3 rugs, and you will notice a few things very peculiar. Notice how there is a full table full of food. You notice, it looks like over here they finished their meal. Here you have the apostles, and they are in the midst of conversations. But notice, for example, and I do not know their names. I have to, sorry, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I probably slept through when I should have been paying more attention as a kid. But you notice how the third guy on the right has a beard? Well, and over here, brother is clean shaven. And you will notice the characters look a little bit different. Then on the Turkish one, I mean, obviously here you have a full table. You have lots of food, no food. But you will also notice how here you have a complete different, what looks like a storyline. It looks as if this was taken during the meal or prior. You have glasses of wine, and it's similar to, and this is very similar in the Tabriz rugs. In the Tabriz rugs, and this is a classic rendition, other than the fact that sometimes you have some weavers who add beards, others will take them off, but what they almost all have in common is this design where you have the apostles, everybody is behind the table. Well, I have seen this right here in a couple of Turkish Hereke pieces, as well as obviously here in this chinar. And it's what I always found unique about it is in the Turkish rugs, there's always you have the hallows, and then you have everybody it seems to be listening in on what Jesus is saying, or it just it's a very different atmosphere. Now, I don't know the historical background of this particular picture. I mean, obviously, Last Supper. But as you can see, looking at this picture, this is very different. The atmosphere seems to be very different. So I'm actually going to leave this up to you guys. Sometimes I'm actually afraid to read the comments, because I don't know, some people seem to have a whole lot of time on their hands and have some very unique insights and views. But in this case, you have the Last Supper, but 2 very different interpretations of it. You have what I believe to be the classic Last Supper, and then you have the Turkish variation of it, which is absolutely beautiful. But like I said, again, you will have the uniqueness, and again, you have some. You notice beards and hair, and then over here you have a couple of bald guys that on the Tabriz versions have plenty of hair. You have the fellow on the right shaved. Over here, I swear to God, that brother is, that's a very fine groomed beard. So I always find it fascinating. And like I said, to me, it's just a beautiful way of pointing out some of the differences. Now, earlier up here, we have a very high quality Tabriz rug. This is actually a 65 rug. that some people will offer at 70 raj. But this is very traditional. A silk foundation, I mean, these are just really meant to be hung on walls, and extremely fine pieces. And you also have the weaver's signature. Extremely elegant pieces. But what is unique about this large piece, generally speaking, Last Supper rugs are always smaller. But in this case, we just got this piece. What is unique about them is, and you may be able to tell this, I'm actually going to put the other one side by, I'm going to put this one next to it, and then maybe you can see the difference. Both of them virtually identical. Silk foundation, very fine wool with silk. But notice how the one on the left has the people in it are just, they seem to be alive. They seem to be floating. And if you look at also the architecture, if you look at the walls, you will notice the difference. This one on the left is much more alive, much more almost like in your face. The colors are bolder and everything. And that is what is known as relief. Here you have, for example, the clothing is actually woven on top of the rug. So, for example, this wall, this brown right here, is thicker than the green, and there's actually a line in between. I'm going to see if I cannot fold this and show it to you. You can, if you look at it closely, you can see the difference. It gives it a three-dimensional look. It's as if the main features of this rug is it's like almost like a carving. It's like someone took a piece of wood and they carved layers. So you have, for example, our Lord Jesus Christ is above the wall. He's not painted on the same level. You can actually feel the difference. The same with the table. The white is all silk. The plates are wool. The silk is like inside, it's embedded, so it feels as if the plates are on top. So when you run your hand over it, you can actually feel it. This is a very, very difficult and time-consuming construction. This is a very, very difficult weaving technique. Only a few weavers know how to do it, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Like I said, this is something, this was a video that I really was not planning to take for a while, but when it arrived today, it was something that I had to show you. So for those of you who are into Persian rugs, here you have, it's almost like a 3D rendition of a beautiful, beautiful rendition of the Last Supper. And like I said, what I find unique about them is the fact that you have three pieces, and I do not like to step on these types of rugs because to me, it's just a matter of respect. I've always told my clients, to me, it doesn't matter whether it's Christian, Islam, Judaism. If you have a picture that represents a religion or culture or people, you really should not be stepping on them. So if you are a collector, if you are a fan of Persian rugs, this is the type of rug that I would like you to consider for either hanging on the wall or placing somewhere as a decor piece. This is not something that I think anybody would actually be laying on the floor and stepping on. So here you have our 3 examples of our Last Supper. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep coming back. If you like more, subscribe to our channel or leave us any questions in the comments section or visit us at mprugs.com. And I look forward to hearing from you. Best wishes to you all, and can't wait to add more videos as time goes on. Take care. Bye-bye.